Hi everyone, it's Arlene with Design with Arlene. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a project showcasing the Sweet as a Peach stamp set along with the tailor-made tags dies. These are a set of 10 that are really fun. They make different sizes of dies. I'm going to be making a box this time. It's a little 3D box similar to this one. I made this particular box on my last Facebook Live on a Friday that I have on my Facebook. It's Design with Arlene, where every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I make a little project. So this was last night's. So I'm going to recreate that, but just using a little bit of different colors. So I'm starting out, like I said, with the Sweet as a Peach, and then I'm using also the tailor-made tags dies. I'm starting out with a piece of Balmy Blue. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that's just been cut in half. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. And for this particular project, you will need to have a score. So I'm using the scoring blade on our paper trimmer that we have. So just make sure that you use the lighter gray when you're using this, as if you're using this paper trimmer. If you get the darker gray, guess what? You're gonna get little pieces, which I've done that before. So for the measurements here, you just want to, on the long side, score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, at the inches mark. So there's 2. Slide it over, score at 4 inches, 6, and then I'll need to bring my arm out here and score it at 8. And then I'm turning it so where the short side is on the top here, and I'm scoring at the 2-inch mark. I'm also going to need another piece of the Balmy Blue, and that's going to be cut at 3.5 inches square. And then I'm scoring all 4 sides of this square at 3/4 inch. So again, put my darker gray blade up at the top, since that's the cutting blade, and I'm moving over my paper to the 3/4 inch mark, but then I want to go just a smidgen to the left. So I don't want to cut, I don't want to score it at exactly 3/4 of an inch. This is just a little trick. The directions do call for 3/4 inch, but I noticed when I did that, the lid was very snug. And we're making this the lid. This is the paper that we're using to make the lid. So I measure at 3/4 inch, and then I just bring it over to the left a little bit, just very slightly. It's like not even 1/16 of an inch. So, and score there, and then just repeat that on the other 3 sides as well. Once you have everything scored, you want to fold on all of those score lines and give it a really good crease with your bone folder. And once you have those nice and creased, it is important not to skip this step, even though sometimes you may want to just finish and start to going with the cutting and making of the box. But what that does is it's kind of breaking down the little fibers in your paper, so that way it's going to leave a sharper corner when you make your box. Okay, and so with this, you have this is the box part, and you'll see there's a little the folds right here, and then you've got these score lines that are going vertically. So I want to cut on the this part right here where the horizontal score line is. I'm cutting on the vertical line, the score line, only up to that horizontal score line. Okay, and repeat the process on all the rest of the score lines, only cutting up into that first score line there. And then you're going to have this little flap right here that you really don't need. So just go ahead and on the horizontal score line, just trim that off and just toss that away. Or you can keep it, save it for something, but it's small enough where I usually don't keep them. Okay, here's the lid. And what we'll do here is on the bottom here, there's 2 score lines. You cut up to the first, that horizontal score line, the first one, and then you turn your paper and repeat on the opposite ends. And you can also trim a little bit of it to make this easier to fold in and then glue, which is what we'll be doing. So I'm just going to repeat that on the other side as well. Okay, now we're ready to construct the box. And what I like to do, there's a little flap right here. I'm going to turn this actually upside down, and I fold that in and I take my liquid glue. So for boxes, I like to use liquid glue because in case you need to move things around, it's a little easier because it is liquid. You have a little bit of some time. So we're gonna go ahead and fold that right here and let that kind of dry a little bit. While it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and construct the lid. So 2 on these smaller little flaps right here. Add a little bit of glue on each side. It's going to get folded up and tucked inside, just like that, and then repeat the process on the other side. A little bit of glue. If you guys have a favorite glue that you like to use when you construct boxes like this, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear what different glues people use. Okay, there's that box. Now we're going to go back to this one. It's had time to set. The next step is to go ahead and glue down those bottom pieces that form the bottom of the box. So we'll fold one in first, add some glue. And on this step, you want to make sure that you do get as much on the edges as you can. So fold in the second flap, fold in the third flap, and then the last flap, fold in. And then I like to flip it over and then take something like a ruler or scissors and just kind of push down. So that way you're getting those, all the pieces of the paper to touch with the glue. You're nice and glued in there, okay? And then I like to just kind of make sure it fits okay. I'm going to trim that one edge off there a little bit. Yep, looks good. Okay, I do see there, so let me trim that off. There we go. Now we're going to decorate that box, and I've got some pieces of the Pear Pizzazz that are cut. So I have 4 pieces of rectangles. And again, these will all be on the dimensions and the measurements for everything will be on my blog. I have that. I also have a square. This is going to go on the top of the box. And then I've used some designer series paper. And this actually is from the Your Peach designer series paper, double-sided. Look how fun these little stripes are. And like I was saying, the peach stamp, we think of that, we see the peach, I automatically think, oh, I have to make something with peaches. But this is kind of nice because Stampin' Up's designer series paper, it is double-sided. So you can have something that is really not even going to be fruit related at all. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and this time I'll use my Stampin' Seal and use it to adhere my designer series paper onto each of the rectangles and then the square as well. We've got these ready to glue on, and I'm going to just take, again, just to glue, apply some Stampin' Seal. And these are going to be glued on to the sides, all 4 sides of the box, leaving this area right here free because that's where the lid will go on. So I'll repeat this process with the other 3 sides and glue on the top to the lid as well. And one thing that I did not mention beforehand was if you have some pattern paper, like this particular designer series paper that has, you know, like a top and a bottom, it needs to stay upright. Just make sure that maybe lay it out before you glue it on so that it's not upside down, which can easily happen when you're working with pattern paper. So here I also have the top of the lid as well. Okay, and now we're gonna get into some stamping. This particular project doesn't have a lot of stamping, but what stamping it does have is really fun. And this is, I made I think this is the second to smallest tag in the tags and more. This has a variety of tags in the dies, and you can see that some of them have a circle on the inside here, and then others have an oval edge to them, you guys here. So just a little bit of different designs, 2 different designs, and there's 4 of each one, and then we've got some little cutouts here that add a little decorative touch to the tags. And for this tag I'm using, like I said, the second to the smallest one, and then I also have this little circle. It looks like a little reinforcer there, and I'll be gluing that on after I stamp. With my Memento black ink, it's the Tuxedo Memento black ink, I'm stamping the word happy birthday, and that's just going to go a little bit in the middle. I like to center it, but I also want to make sure that I have room for the little circle reinforcer, little die cut that I have here that I'll be gluing on. And then taking the Balmy Blue. So my color challenge this week on Facebook was the color combo of Pear Pizzazz, Balmy Blue, and Black. So that's the colors here. So this is where I got them from. And there's this little flower stamp in this set. Stamp that just randomly around the word happy birthday. Stamp one more here. Okay. And then I have a little sunburst stamp, and I'm going to stamp that with the Pear Pizzazz ink. And you can see that really brightens it up and makes it just fun and festive, and it's matching. It goes along with the designer series paper and my box as well. Here's a little circle die cut and just a little bit of glue. And glue that directly over right here so you can see where it just fits perfectly over your tag. To complete our tag, I'm going to be using some of our Pearl Basic Jewels and the Balmy Blue Stampin' Blends marker. So these are alcohol based, and because they are alcohol based, you can color directly onto the pearl, onto your embellishment. You can do this with rhinestones as well. Balmy Blue is a really light color, so it doesn't show up as much as some, but I wanted to color just to give it a very light touch. These pearls are so beautiful when they're colored like this, and you can see the blue here. And that will go on. We'll just add these as accents. There's something about pearls and me they don't like. Pearls in my, let's see, let's put here, right here, see? They're jumping all over the place. They're saying it's too hot. Okay, there we go. And then I also grabbed some ribbon. This is this is in a combo pack. This is the Flowers for Every Season combo pack of ribbon. So you get 3 different kinds, and this is the white. What I like to do, it's about 36 inches in here, and I like to find the midpoint of this and then take that middle point right here, put it onto the top of my box, bring it to the back, upside down, the bottom of it, and then twist it like this, and then bring it back up, and then tie a bow. Now, how I like to do it, it might be a little bit harder for the recipient because it's in a knot, but I do like to knot mine. It makes, when I make a bow, it makes it easier to make a bow when I don't have to hold on to the loose ribbon. Okay, so I've got a knot here. You can leave it as a knot, and then what I'm going to do is just thread the ribbon through this circle. So you notice that I have it at an angle, and I may even need to make it a little bit of a sharper angle. And when I do that, it makes it a lot easier to thread the ribbon through that hole because this hole is smaller. Okay. And then make a bow. And there you have a fun little gift treat box. And it says happy birthday. The Sweet as a Peach stamp set also has thanks so much. So, or hello friend, or let's celebrate you. Lots of different really fun things. So for the month of July, when you order this Sweet as a Peach stamp set or the TaylorMade tags, since it is, I use both of them, you will, and provide your email address, you will receive the PDF instructions for this sweet little box. So there's different colors here, same design, pretty much the same. One says thanks so much and happy birthday. A little bit different, but a lot of the same. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and please let me know if you have any questions. Again, check out my blog for all the measurements that you will need to make this card and all the products that I used as well. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.